Okay.
So let me just start. Let's back it on up, and let me just introduce to you this part of the show's guest, who is another amazing practitioner. I call her the accountability coach because she is no nonsense. She will check you up and down, inside and out, with love these days. And her name is Jewel Smith. And I'm so excited to have her with me because she's been riding with me for a long time. So let me just give some background story on this one here, okay? Because when I met her, she showed herself to be a doer. Okay. She's not somebody who waits around for instructions. If she sees a problem, she's going to get up and take care of it. And so I'm like, what kind of person is this? Like, what do I call you? And it just dropped on me, the accountability coach, because when there's a problem, she's going to get up and fix the problem. And that's what she does with our clients. We work with women, we work with wives through our Unearth program, and she gets in there and she calls a spade a spade. There's not going to be anybody who's going to say some crazy mess and get away with it, which I love that because I don't have to be the bad guy anymore. So definitely want to introduce Jewel Smith to the show. Welcome, Jewel.
Thank you.
And it is so good to see you. Jewel lives she live in West Bahubatech in Georgia. You know,
it's
Georgia
only
big.
An hour away.
Only an hour away, plus traffic means a day trip. Basically. So I don't really see her that often. So it's really fun to have her be here with us. And we're going to continue this conversation on communication because it takes communication to operate well in every season of your life, right? So even when the children are gone and, it's just you and your spouse, and that's really the season when women start to say, okay, what am I interested in? All right, I've raised these children, they're out of my hair, they doing their thing, and here it's just you and I. Okay. So you get on my nerves after a while. Like I'm kind of sick of looking at you. So let me figure out what I want to do. Okay. So I want to talk to you about communication as it relates to you stepping into purpose, stepping into your passion, and communicating that to our husbands, where for them, it's different at this stage in life when there's the empty nest syndrome and the kids are no longer keeping us busy. Oftentimes our husbands struggle with the idea of us getting busy and doing things apart from them because we're their wives, right? We make it very comfortable and cozy for them. We make their home cozy, their food, their play, all the things that we do. And then we get busy with something. So talk to us about, where are you at? Let's start there. Where are you at in your journey? Your kids are grown. It's just you and your husband. Talk about that season and what that feels like right now.
Oh, God is good. That season, I think my husband and I have been waiting for a long time, but we have been empty nesters for a while. We are a blended family. So, we have 30-year-olds and our youngest is 19. So
I didn't realize you had a 19-year-old. Okay.
Yes. All right. The youngest boy is 19. Mm-hmm. And he's still a teenager. Mm-hmm. So you can imagine what that's like. But it was an adjustment because you're right. Everything that we were doing was based around the kids. The communication was based around the kids. And then when there was no kids, it's like, what is there to talk about? So we really made it a point to sit down and say, all right, what is this going to look like? How are we going to communicate? How is this going to work effectively? What is it that you want to do that you're getting ready to go off and do? Because you already know that I can't sit still. So I'm going to be like, I'm out. So having that conversation that I want to do something. I don't want to just be a mom all day. And to be honest, I didn't want to sit and just be a wife all day. I wanted to be able to now live. But in order for me to do that, I needed his buy-in. I needed him to see that what I was about to do was going to benefit him in some way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. And that's how it made it easy for me to go off and do certain things, because it wasn't like I was just going off and doing things without him. Right. Something that's going to benefit me. What I'm going off to do is still going to benefit us. It's going to allow us to continue moving forward. It's going to allow us to move into our new season. It's going to allow us now to live the way we want to live.
Yes. You know what? You're making me think about the transition that I made. Y'all know that a couple of years ago, I took an entire year off, which is insane.
Yes, we know.
But timing was everything.
Yes, it was.
And I was very acute with the timing because I have been running strong for 12, 13, 14 years. I don't know. As long as I've been married almost 21 years. Okay. Mm-hmm. And as soon as Team came on, I started to say, you know what, this might be my moment. But I started thinking about, what am I going to say to my husband? Because I can't just disappear without making an announcement, letting him know, having his buy-in. Like, this is a whole business here. And being able to approach him with that and say, I need to literally stop. Like, I mean, this can't be like a slow turn the faucet off kind of a thing, like me slowly backing. I need to completely stop or I'm going to burn out and be no good. Okay. That is something that I think a lot of women feel, need, because they've been riding and driving so long and so hard, but haven't found the words or don't know how to approach it. Okay. Mm-hmm. So when you talk about being empty nest and, you know, the kids are gone and it's just you and him and you have other aspirations, right? You don't want to just sit around with your husband. How do you have these hard conversations with them where they don't feel threatened? Because I know for Hassani, for a minute, he was just like, wait, hold on, what? Wait, you doing what? Yes, it's good. This person's doing that. That person's doing this. Everything is good, right? I had to really help him see that this could work. Talk about, how do these wives have these hard conversations with their husbands who are used to you being by their side, used to you doing all the things, and now you want to go off and do something else?
I truly believe in reverse psychology. After having children, I believe in reverse psychology. Uh-huh. And just like you said, you were just like, I need to stop. Mm-hmm. I had that conversation that I needed to stop, but I followed it up with, if I don't stop, this is what's going to possibly happen. These are the problems we're going to have because I'm losing self. You know, if we look at a conversation as it's going to be hard, it's going to be hard. If you look at a conversation as, okay, I just need to express the benefits of what's about to happen or what could happen that can go left or right, it makes things a little easier. So it wasn't just like, look, this is what I'm doing. It was, I know this is a little different, but if I don't do this, you know, there's a likelihood you're gone all day. The kids are gone. You know, I'll start getting depressed because I'm not able to do the things that I want to do. You know, just kind of lay it on a little thick, you know, but those things were important enough for me to want to have that hard conversation, because what's the 50-50 chance that he's going to accept it versus you having in your head that he's not? So he may not, then he may. Mm-hmm. So if you're just holding back from not having that conversation, afraid of how he's going to perceive it, then you're going to be stuck. You're not going to be able to do the things you need to do. Then what is it? You're going to feel some kind of way towards him, opposed to just taking that chance of
taking a leap of faith, right? I'm hearing a wife who's listening saying something like, that's what I do. Like, I'm not waiting for him to approve. I'm grown, right? I don't need him to approve my decision. I'm going to do this. I don't know about what you're going to do, but what I'm about to do. Why do you think we do that? Why do some women take that approach? It's more of a confrontational approach. Like, I'm just here to let you know that what I'm going to do is X, Y, and Z, you know? Why do we do that?
We have two styles of women. That's how I look at it. You have women who were raised to be quiet, not express how they feel, the things they want to do. And then you have women that were raised to speak their mind, do what you're going to do, regardless of how anybody else feels. And if they like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. Mm-hmm. Well, you have to kind of combine those things, because you still can express how you feel. And it's not about getting approval. He is your teammate. He's not your adversary. He's not, you know, your wall that's blocking you from doing anything. You're just, the same way you would want a discussion to be had with you about changes that he's about to make in his life should be the same way you want to give that same courtesy and respect to him, to have that conversation about the changes you want to make in your life. And having the attitude that I'm going to do what I want to do because, then all that brings is division, confusion. And then where you have arguments,
disconnect,
resentment.
Mm-hmm.
You have a whole list of things just because you're unwilling to change how you want to go about addressing your needs.
Mm-hmm. You said something about adversary, right? I'm not your adversary, but a lot of couples have an adversarial relationship, right? I think it has a lot to do with women's liberation and all that. Like, we out here in these streets doing the thing. We're doing the darn thing, okay? We work, we do all the things. Some of us make more money than our husbands and all of that. It becomes adversarial because there's a competition brewing, it seems like, in a lot of homes where the husband might feel like, well, I'm not enough because she's the best, right? She's amazing. She's the leader. She's making more money. She has more impact. And, I'm not enough. And so there's this competition under the same roof, right? And so that's why you might have a woman say, listen, I pay the bills. I make the money. I'm not going to ask him for any kind of permission. Talk to the woman she's the one who makes the income, she makes the income. Not that he doesn't contribute, but she's the one that you would say is the head financially and in that regard. Talk to her who thinks that she doesn't have to step to her husband and get in one agreement with him because she's the one making the money. So she thinks she can make the choices.
You want me to talk to myself? Is that what you want to say?
I wasn't
talk to my old self?
I wasn't going to say that. I wasn't going to say the old self.
I've been there.
Why were we there?
I was there because of my rearing. I was reared to take care of business, period. No matter what. And if that meant working multiple jobs, that's what I had to do. It wasn't the fact that a man is supposed to take care of a woman. I understood that. Mm-hmm. That was a no-brainer. You kind of grow up like that. But when you also grow up to be the provider, when you are married, you take that role and not understanding multiple things. One, it's not your place, whether you make the money or not, to be the head. You still got to stay in your lane. That's just my, for me, I had to stay in my lane. Didn't like it, didn't want to do it. And two, the one thing that
Siri done jumped in the conversation. How weird. Is it there? Just turn her off because she'll keep talking. We ain't talking to you, Siri. Go on.
I think the one thing that men like the most about the women, because they're so strong, they make money, they're independent, and is the thing that ends up creating a wedge. Mm-hmm. Because of that independence. Now I don't need you other than to have sex, have kids, and be my arm candy. Mm-hmm. Where, okay, Siri.
Siri is clearly interested in being a suitable helper, and she's joining the conversation. Yes. Go ahead.
So saying all of that, for me, I had to realize that despite of the money that I was making, despite of the decisions of paying the bills and all those things, it was not my place to be the head of my relationship. Mm-hmm. And I really had to sit down with my husband and be like, okay, does this bother you? And he had to be honest to say yes or no. Mm. And that's where a lot of husbands are messing up.
That's where they mess up.
Is if it bothers you, you don't speak on it.
Yes.
If you allow us to continue running that way, we're going to continue running that way. Mm-hmm. And we're going to get stronger at it. And we're going to get probably a little bit more arrogant about it. And then that's when you're going to start feeling some kind of way. Mm. Because you made a decision not to express that I don't mind you making more money than me, but I don't need you to remind me. I don't need you throwing it up in my face. I don't need you taking my role from me because of the fact that you're able to carry more.
I love that. I'm thinking about conversations I've had with Hassani in the past. Personality plays a lot in who you're dealing with and how you deal with them, right? My husband is a 3. If you know anything about personality styles, 3s are very competitive in nature. Okay. So it's not about you. It's about them. They're very competitive. So it'd be anybody. And I remember earlier on having conversations with him and saying, babe, I'm not your competition. See, certain personality styles, they see things like competition is it. I got to win at everything. it took for me to do the work to examine my husband, to understand how he operates, to know the things to say and how to do it. So for women who have done the work and they know the little idiosyncrasies, like I talk to a lot of wives and they know, okay, well, my husband, he's got low self-esteem, right? So even though I'm telling him over and over again, babe, you're so brilliant, he really struggles to believe that. Or in my case, where I was dealing with competition, I had to let him know, like, babe, we're on the same team. He had to accept that. Don't you find it's difficult for women who are in these strong positions sometimes to talk to our husbands because either they don't identify with their own personality styles, they don't know who they are, they may not even see themselves. And so if I point something out, especially in the wrong way, it might be rejected or it might not be acknowledged, right? So we're doing that. We're saying, okay, let me sit down with you and talk to you. But you're not hearing me because you don't see you, or it's just too hard for you to acknowledge you. Don't you think a lot of men struggle to hear truths from their wives?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
How do we, like, this is a great conversation to really dive deep into, because we're talking about how we need to communicate before we do all the things. We're wives first. We're mothers, right? We have to understand our role in the home. But all of that starts with communicating with another person who also has to learn communication styles as well. That's where the struggle comes in, okay? How do we deal with this? Like when we have ideas, opinions, beliefs, facts, evidence, proof, receipts about certain behavior, but it's still not acknowledged. Where does she go with that? What does she do with that?
Well, I think her first step needs to be is figure out her own communication style. Because when you know your own communication style, you'll know whether or not it's going to get your message across. Meaning for me, I'm just saying for me, my communication style is just strong and
direct.
I needed to know that because I was wondering why every time I'm talking, it's going in one area or it caused an argument where I'm just expressing. But it was until I figured out that the way I expressed kind of looked very demeaning, sounded demeaning. Mm-hmm. And I had to be like, okay, I'm not changing who I am, but I had to learn how to change how I presented things.
Right.
I had to learn how to change my tone. Mm-hmm. I had to learn what my husband's communication style was. And then there is no harm with asking. We seem to forget that if you want to know how to communicate with me, ask me. Don't just assume that you know, because apparently we've tried and it's not working. Mm-hmm. You'll go ask your friend, your counselor, your coach, but you won't come to the source. Ask me, what is the best way that I can communicate with you where you won't take offense? How do I get you to understand what it is I'm saying and feeling without, what are you hear when I say this? How do I make you feel when I say this or when I present things to you this way? And if I don't know, then I'm going to continue doing what I need to do. Yeah. It's like when you know better, you do better. If you don't know,
you don't. Yeah. And I'm thinking about like, okay, we do that. And sometimes the goalpost moves, right? And so, okay, babe, how do I need to talk to you to motivate you to do what you said you was going to do? Like take the garbage out on Wednesdays before the trash man comes. Okay. What do I need to say? Because I know the last time I said it, I hollered because it was the 15th time I said it. Right. So how do I need to talk to you? Okay. He says, babe, I just need you to just be polite, instead of yelling at me. As soon as you wake up in the morning, tell me in the morning. Bet. I got you. I'm going to do that. Wednesday comes. Babe, good morning. Hello. Smile and everything. Don't forget to take the garbage out. Yeah, I know. Okay. Garbage don't get taken out, right? Sometimes the goalpost moves, ladies, okay? Sometimes we've asked all those questions and the goalpost moves. So I'm saying this, I'm playing angel's advocate because there are 1,000,001 excuses why I could fly off the handle and cuss you all the way up and down and out. Okay. At the end of the day, I have to turn to my source. The suitable helper was designed for the husband. It is not good for man to be alone. I will make him a suitable helper. So it's my job to help you. Actually, it's my job to remind you 1,000 times if that's what it requires for you. It's my job to do all those things. Sometimes it's my job to just go ahead and take the garbage out because you forgot the 15th time and the garbage truck is here, right?
Okay, let's back up about the trash.
Hold on. I know. I'm with you because that is a blue job. Amen. However, we do have a helper. It's him.
Absolutely.
He's our helper. Like when I'm at my wit's end about a thing, I cannot respond in my frustration and my anger. I don't care what, because the goalpost does move until growth happens, right? I got to turn to my source and get the help from him. Woo, woosah, Jesus.
Lord, help me.
Right? And I feel like if we knew that we did have the help, sometimes we think we're all alone. And oftentimes we can't even turn to our closest friends because they don't even understand the play. They look at you at a certain level. I'm talking about me. They might look at you at a certain way, but well, you what do you have to complain about? You're married to Hassani, the marriage coach. Huh?
He's still a father.
Hello?
He's still a man.
Oh,
he's still my husband.
Okay. So at the end of the day, all wives need to know where their source is, right? So that they can reshape in the quiet place. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, I recognize now it's me that needs to reshape. And I only do that in my prayer closet. Absolutely. Now, if you ain't got a prayer closet,
I have one.
That's the first problem. You ain't got a prayer closet. Mm-hmm. So you have no throne, which means you have no office with him, right? I need to have an office with him. I need to be able to be like, I got to go. He about to, Lord, you know how you made me. You know how you made me. I'm about to get him. Let me get a meeting with the boss upstairs, Whoo, child.
But in having that meeting with God, praying, Lord, what I'm going to do, because if this trash does not go out one more week,
we're back on the trash.
I'm about to set this whole house on fire. Whatever it is.
Yes.
But we were talking about the trash. He's like, Joel, use your brain. Stop using your mouth so much and use your brain. And it got to a point where the trash can was, it was somewhere that if it sat too long, it was going to start to smell. And it was going to make your stuff start to smell because your stuff is close to the trash can. And when you go to put on that jacket and it smell like trash.
Right. Well, that's what you get.
Well, babe, this is one of the reasons why we need to take the trash out. Because otherwise it just starts stinking.
You would think that those lessons would help. They don't, right? I mean, here we are. You've been married at least 2 decades, I'm sure. Okay. I've been married 2 decades. We know that there are certain things our husbands are amazing. And then there's some things that I've been saying since day one. And I'm still reminding and being the suitable helper in that space. Guess who has shifted along the way? Me. Certain things that used to make me so spitting, flaming mad, just little idiosyncrasies, they don't bother me anymore because I've shape shifted.
Exactly. And in that shape shift, it did teach me a lot of things, that some of the things that I was getting angry about was for no reason. I mean, you had to choose your battles. And if it's something that I can take care of, I can take care of it. Yes, there are blue jobs. There are pink jobs.
There are. Let's just go ahead and call it. Garbage is blue.
Yes, it is.
It ain't never going to change.
It's not going to change. But if it requires me to kind of step over into that color for a moment.
Because you're capable of doing blue jobs too.
I can go ahead and do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because I think it makes you feel even worse. I've done that. And then when I'm going, I didn't say anything. I didn't have an attitude. And I want to say 2 or 3 hours later, you hear the trash truck. And he's like, oh my God, I forgot to take out the trash. That's okay. I got it. And he was like, I am so sorry. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, it's okay. It's okay. And here I was just like, you ought to be sorry because I do not take out no trash.
Let me tell you something. At the end of the day, we are so equipped We can do blue jobs, okay? Pink jobs, all kinds of jobs. We're capable of doing all the jobs. But let's be clear. There are blue jobs up in here. Garbage is a blue job, okay? Now, yes, can I do it? I can. Will I? Sometimes if I have to. But there are blue jobs. And there's a lot of other blue jobs, right? At the end of the day, God made us the helper. We're here to help. But I'm not here to do all the things. God assigned me to help you. And that means that you have to have something for me to help you with. Okay. So that is a heavy load for us a heavy pill for us to swallow when we recognize, hold on, I am designed to help, which means that my husband needs to have something for me to help him with that. And I'm complaining about that as a wife. Like I get together in my girl circles and I'm complaining, oh my God, girl. What he did yesterday. Oh my God. Like he was putting a chair together, girl, and he had the screws backwards. Okay. And I had to take it apart. Like we complain about our husband's inadequacies, forgetting God designed you to plug in those holes. Mm-hmm. So we've missed the mark and we've missed the understanding about what it means to be a suitable helper. That's why we're angry about it. We're angry about the fact that, oh, wait a minute, it's not just about me being taken care of and living in my dream house and having the 2 kids and the white picket fence and the whole, it's not about the American dream. Don't forget about the dog, right? That's perfect. And don't poop on my lawn and jack it up. Like we got this crazy Hollywood image of what it means to be married. We don't understand. We're supposed to dominate and spread the kingdom with this thing called marriage, but we have it so twisted. My expectations have been shaped by society, TV, and how I've been raised. And I don't even understand that I'm here to help him. Why am I mad at him when I'm here to help him? It's because we haven't learned how to do it. Okay. So let's twist this up a little bit more because, you know, there are women that are here, and I've had people actually reach out to me and say, listen, you know I'm hearing you talk about being a suitable helper, but I'm ready to launch out. I mean, I've done all that. I want to build a business. I want to travel. There's a lot of things that I want to do. And my husband really isn't interested in all of that, you know, but I'm used to partnering with him and doing all the things. Like, how do we begin to communicate our interests and our desires? They're apart from our husband, and maybe we want it that way. I mean, there's some of us that I'm a very autonomous person. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I like having my own space and my own cave. I can partner really well, but I like my own thing. How do we talk to the wives who are like, oh, I'm tiptoeing, but there's this business venture that I want to start, and my husband, he has no interest in this. How do I step into this without him feeling abandoned, without him feeling intimidated by my drive and my passion for something new?
I think it's I'm sorry, but I really feel it's very important, no matter whether or not it's something that we want to do and they do not. We still need to get them to see the value of what we're about to do and how important it is to us. Sometimes we just want to just say, okay, I'm going off to do these things and not understand, okay, well, maybe he feels as though this isn't the right time. So therefore you don't have the buy-in, or this is the right time, but he doesn't see your vision, or he doesn't understand what it is and why you want to do these things. Making it plain, making it clear to say, okay, these are the things that's important. I want to step out, and I've been thinking about this business for a long time. You know, it's something that I'm good at. It's something that, you know, makes me feel good. I need you. I need you to be supportive. I need you to come alongside me. Mm-hmm. You know, sometimes they feel that way because they feel as though we're not going to need them once we go off.
So true.
You know what I'm saying? So true. If we can get them to understand that despite the fact that we're going to go off and do this thing, I still need you and want you by my side as I'm going through this thing. Mm-hmm. I need your opinion. You know, I want you to help me pick out certain things. I want you to help me look for certain things. Make him a part of what you're about to do, without him necessarily having to be a part of what you're about to do.
And that validation too, like, I will always need you, right? I think it's so true. Like, if you go off and be great, will she need me anymore? Will she see me in the same light anymore? We struggle to validate sometimes, or we forget. They need to hear, you did a great job, babe. You're brilliant, babe. You're beautiful. You're handsome, babe. Just like we need that validation, they do, but we withhold. Sometimes we withholding because we're mad. We're still mad about stuff, and we ain't going to say what we know they need us to say. Sometimes it gets on our nerves inside that they need us to say that, and we just hold back. So they terrified on many levels because they see this helper that has done all these things for them. And now the helper is like, okay, I'm done helping you. I'm gonna go help myself. And it is very intimidating.